your favorite natural goddess, Naturally Decrea, and I'm one of the authors, and we are joined here with fellow authors. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes.
Can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Janitrika Jackson Woods from Houston, Texas.
Hi, I'm Tanisha J. Roberts, aka Lady Rob, from everywhere. I'm global.
Hi, I'm Christy Thibodeau, coachship. If you know, I am actually a life coach.
And I am Dr. Shanika Harris from Houston, Texas.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We are super excited about this launch. It has been anticipated and it's been a journey, but we're here and we are happy to be here.
Yes.
Okay, I want to start by saying this was something that was very big for me. It took some time for me to really pour into it. When I sat down to write about my chapter, I was contemplating on what I wanted to give, how much I wanted to share, because it was very vulnerable for me. My entrepreneurship journey, being a mother and an entrepreneur, and just making decisions as an entrepreneur that affects your whole life.
Absolutely.
It was really tough, but I'm excited to share everything that I put into it.
Yes.
Starting off with you, JJ, I want to know, like, what was the most moving part for you? What was that captivating thing that you just had to put into your chapter?
So first and foremost, I'm just excited about this opportunity and to be amongst such wonderful women. These authors are amazing women, mothers, wives, sisters, all of that. And so for me, it starts with my foundation, with my mom, my grandmother, who were entrepreneurs too. And so that torch was passed on to me. Today is actually a celebration of my oldest granddaughter.
Wow.
And so what an opportunity to leave a legacy for her on her birthday that she can remember for the rest of her life. And she has something that every birthday celebration, she's able to take the opportunity to celebrate this project, and it will last for a lifetime, and the lessons inside it just coincide with the fact that the foundation was laid for me, and I could share that from my personal experience being a child and watching my grandmother and my mother do business on their own. And now I'm leaving that legacy, not just from experience, but application.
Come on. That's good, girl. That's good.
It's nothing like seeing it, but actually living it and applying it. Applying that. The fact that you come from a lineage of entrepreneurs, huge. I am the first entrepreneur in my family, and me being a young entrepreneur, it's like everybody's like, well, why are you doing that? Why you just want to get a job, or why you just want to do this? But my path is different.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that's beautiful.
That's
You had examples, you had help, you had people show you the ropes. It's beautiful. And your granddaughter is gonna cherish that.
Absolutely.
Then that's what this is about, leaving legacy and building for the generations after us.
Absolutely. And I was able to share, that experience on paper for them to be able to see that and experience it, and just be able to have that that lineage, like you say, the lineage of, man, my grandmother, my great grandmother, they did it, but they didn't have the opportunities we have.
For sure.
The struggle that I was able to see them go through and endure gave me the wings beneath my wings to say, if they did it without the resources that we have, I definitely can do it. And it gets hard. It gets hard, but we just keep persevering, and that's what I love about how we support each other in this whole process.
It's important. It's important. one thing I always share with entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship isn't easy by far. However,
Right.
it's so worth it because
Yes.
it's so worth it. You build yourself and you get to know yourself. You learn yourself from the inside out and sometimes from the outside in.
Right.
So
True,
you
yeah.
have to do that self-reflection
True,
when things are
absolutely.
not working as planned or so our plan.
Right.
We like, why is this not moving? Why is this not happening? And sometimes we have to pull back, take a step back and reflect
Do
on
that
what it is
self-check.
that we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Self-check,
So
yes. That's
I
good.
love that. I personally have not even met anyone who have a lineage of entrepreneurs that have did it and showed the ropes. That's
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So for you, Tanisha, I felt so inspired about your chapter. I know it's going to move so many people, but I want to know from your experience, what was that one thing that you was hesitant on sharing, but you knew that it was going to touch somebody else?
It would probably have been my husband's death. So I come from entrepreneurship, but in ministry, right? My grandfather was the creator of the Church of God in Christ, right? So I come from a large line of ministry, right? And most of them are men. So
Right.
I'm in a man's world.
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes, they take scripture out of context. This is me being like lightweight tonight. Right? And they say, oh, no, we're not supposed to speak. No, you're wrong. It was talking about the husband of a wife.
Yeah.
And we have to know how to be able to communicate with our husbands. We have to know. So the hardest part about my journey was communicating after it. Right. So the purpose that he gave me, I always tell people this: I didn't marry my husband for love. Matter of fact, when I married him, I wasn't. And part of the reason that I married him is because I understood purpose. So I knew that he was connected to my future, regardless to where he was in my present.
That's huge.
And who cares about my history?
Yeah.
Because I'm headed to my destiny.
Okay.
And so I couldn't stop because he was no longer here. We have 6 children and 13 grandchildren. How am I going to stop? I can't stop. I got a new position. I went from being a wife to being a widow. And let me tell you, it's a different kind of position, okay? And I was married almost 30 years, so it's been difficult. His absence, because that's my best friend. So, of course, I was in love with him by the time he passed away. Let me throw that at everybody. Right. Trust me, we was loving it. And then I'm a young widow. I was 48 years old when he passed away, so I was a young widow. But what I realized is that one person don't stop. We had vision, and he wrote it down, and he made it plain, and I took it. And now I'm running with it, right? So that's what I feel like the hardest part was for me. Was I going to continue?
Question. When you got this opportunity and you knew that was something that you had to share, did you feel as if you knew your husband would want you to push and put all of this in there because you were very detailed?
He was very detailed. He was a bishop. He's ex-military, and he was the bishop of our organization. He was the presiding bishop. I now have his position in his passing, but he's a teacher. A bishop is the pastor of pastors, and so he knew how to communicate everything that was necessary. And you don't have to hoop, which I can do. I am that preacher too. But most people now in society, and what I really thought was what he would want me to give to the people.
Yes.
I didn't think about what I would want to give, because if I thought about what I would want to give, I wouldn't have gave it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was my time of mourning still. I was still in grief. So I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to love him, to be with him, and now to tell our story.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that so much. And I know that many women entrepreneurs are going to be able to really relate to everything from your chapter. Because you put a lot of things in that. You did not hold back.
That's like a sign. I get it. Preachers get the mic and don't know how to be quiet. You didn't say it, I said it. Don't worry.
It's true, you live
Yeah.
I was just happy that you didn't hold back because it's going to really do what it was. The purpose is purposeful. Yeah. So thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
and not holding back.
Thank you.
So again, I want to touch a little bit on my chapter. I was very apprehensive when it came to sharing. This was my first time publicizing and verbalizing just everything.
Right.
My chapter is, if it didn't work the first time, should I try again? Should I try again?
Wow.
When I saw that on the email, when I tell you it jumped out at me, I was like, I got scared. I was like, oh no. By the time I picked my title, everyone else had already picked their song. Just skimming through, and I'm like, wait, I don't think I can do any of these. It's not resonating. It jumped out at me, and I immediately wanted to just go at my shell. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Because thinking about everything that was going to entail for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can relate.
I can relate to
One thing
that.
that I am big on, when you have a dream, if it's not big enough to the point where it scares you,
Come on. It's
and
not
I
a
was
dream.
scared.
It's not a dream.
I was scared.
It's a suggestion.
Well, maybe you can do this. You know,
More than likely you won't.
when Koffe called me, I wanted to go all in, but once I saw that title of the chapter, I was like, yeah, that's going a little bit too deep.
Right.
But it was so purposeful, and it took me some time to start writing my chapter. When I tell y'all, I could not gather myself because I knew that it was going to call me to push. It was going to call me to be authentic.
Yes.
Really give my all to a
That's
point
good.
where I've never shared all of these things with anybody.
Wow.
Right.
So I know when my family and close friends read it, they're going to see something totally different.
Right.
Like, wow, I would have never known
Right.
that. You know.
Right.
So I was really excited, but I was scared, and I didn't scare. Once I started typing it up and going, I stopped. One thing about me, when I write, I don't stop.
Right.
So I forced myself to stop, and I was like, hold on. Do I want to give all of this?
Right. Right.
And I prayed about it, and I was like,
Right.
I have to give
Give
all of it.
it.
I was so scared. I sat on that computer, my daughter's watching me. Anytime I do anything, as a woman, as an entrepreneur, my children watch me.
Yeah.
And it's really big for me. So when I do things, it's always on purpose.
Right.
I'm never going to do
Come on.
anything halfway.
Come on.
I'm never going to give just a piece of me. If
Right.
I commit to it, I want to
All
give
in.
all to
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Any project I have ever done, I give everything.
Absolutely.
And once it's in my head, I cannot stop until it's out.
Right.
I cannot stop until it's out. So I got back on there and I got into it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go all in because I know Koffe. I knew she saw it in me when she called me. I knew she knew that
Yes.
it was
Absolutely.
necessary.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Some other things happened, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. But I just finished, got it all out, and I read it. When I tell you, I read it, and I was like, oh, wait, that's
I was the same way.
I've never shared
I
so
was
much
the
of me.
Yeah.
I was very vulnerable, and I knew that it was necessary. It was past due. It was
Right.
overdue.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
necessary.
Right. Healing.
Right.
It was
It
healing.
was.
Yes.
It
Oh,
was.
it was healing. And I know that my daughters, to this day, my daughters see me and she's like, Mom, you're that woman. I always tell her that she's that girl and I'm
Right.
that woman.
Right.
So every time I'm doing something, she hyped me up. She's like, yeah, mom,
Right.
that woman.
Right.
So I was really happy, grateful, and thankful once I got it out. I felt better. I felt like it was purposeful. I
Right.
felt like it was going to feed
Right.
a lot of women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also realized too that a lot of times I am like one of the younger ones on projects that I have done.
Right.
And this group of women has really shown me like true sisterhood, has really shown me that if a woman know who she is,
Yeah.
she have nothing to
Absolutely.
Right.
No,
she have nothing to fear or
Fear itself.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
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 So Miss Christy. You are such a light.
Oh, well, thank you.
Light of the heart.
When I say you never know.
Light. Y'all don't know.
This is probably the loudest it'll ever get with you.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
I'm trying.
when I saw your title, it resonated with me because for multiple reasons, as women, we wear all the hats, we do everything. And sometimes we don't know how to pour into ourselves or
Right.
say, okay, I'm going to be selfish.
That's
This
right.
is about me.
Absolutely. We hardly ever do.
With your title, what was that moment where you was like, you know what? Let me put everything else on pause.
It with me, that was the thing. When I read the title, I actually was looking at two titles, just like you were scrolling through. I scrolled through it too, and I skipped that title. And I said, nope, I'm not doing that one. And I scroll. And I even talked to my husband. I talked to Jason. I said, no, I'm not going to do that title. He was like, stretch yourself. So I was like, nope, scroll past it. Stretch yourself. I said, no, I'm not going to do that title. And then I said, okay. He said it several times. So I went ahead and I said, you know what? I do need to stretch myself.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and I dived into it. What do you have to give up to maintain that greatness?
Yes.
That sacrifice.
Yes.
As the mommy, the wife, the perfect employee, all of those different things wrapped into one. We never want to give up anything. Because if we give up something, it'll be bad. So
That feel.
it's all that mental thing.
Yeah.
It's all that mental thing. So yeah, it was hard writing that because I actually did. I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want to be vulnerable when I was writing because again, that was my second draft that I turned in. The first draft was very clock.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
and I read it and I wasn't very true to it.
Wow.
And
That's
it
good.
was not.
That's good.
That's good.
It was not authentic. So I had to go back. And I didn't turn that version in. Nobody knew that I wrote it except for Jason. And Jason was like, he said no. I said, okay. He was like, be for real. Be honest and authentic with yourself and really be true to the title.
Yeah.
And I said, I sat down at the desk and I looked at it and I said, but then it's not going to look like I've got it all perfect.
Come on.
And I think that's what a lot of people will probably connect with.
Right.
There are so many, especially women,
Yeah.
that walk around and feel like they have to have it
Everybody,
all
right.
together.
Yeah.
It's gotta be perfect.
Yeah.
It's gotta be fun. And if I let anything go,
Everything's gonna fall.
everything's gonna So
I feel you.
I think
Right.
the process that I had to go through in order to get that part of me to really be okay. That's where I am.
Yeah.
And I let out those little secrets that I had to do.
Oh, I love it.
I had to put those little tidbits in there.
Right.
People always talk about, hey, you're the life, you're positive, you have those positive mindsets. I put those little things in there in order for people to be able to kind of get that
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
get into the
Right.
spirit that I'm in now.
Right.
Now I'm able to walk in my purpose and
Right.
walk in that
Come on.
truth and really feel it and
Yes.
feel light
Yes.
and
Right.
feel okay
Yeah.
and not feel burdened. And
Yes.
be okay with those imperfections at
Yes.
times.
Absolutely.
And it's okay. So the way that I did it, and I wrote it in the book and I put it out there. So when they get to that chapter, they'll be able to say, okay, you know what? There is a way to get it done.
Absolutely.
So that's me.
Oh, that is so awesome. You said,
You know, one thing that I really is very moving is the fact that your husband, he held you accountable and he made you push, he made you stretch. He forced you to be real with yourself.
Right.
More than anything else, he forced you to be real with yourself. He
Right.
forced you to go all in. Especially when we talk about coming together and sharing and communion and just really putting something together for others,
Right.
you have to put your all into it.
Right.
You know, of course, to the extent where you feel comfortable
Right.
Absolutely. Yes.
without anybody
Right.
prodding. So
Right.
Right.
I love that he pushed you.
Right.
It forced you to go back and dig deeper. You know, because I'm sure when you was writing the first time, you thought
did a
about
little
these
bit.
things.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
Yeah.
But if they read it, there's some pieces that are missing.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it is. Let me get with it. Okay. Let me put it out there.
I appreciate you.
And I'm comfortable with it, and it's good.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
you
Yes,
for
it
doing
is.
that for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now everyone that know you for being the light and the party and just high vibes, they get to see the other side. They get
Right.
to see
Yeah.
that she had to grow from all of this and really build herself on the inside to where she could continue to feel herself to wear all that.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that is
Yes.
so important as mothers, as
Yes.
entrepreneurs, as just women in general.
Absolutely.
We have to remember to be gentle with ourselves, give ourselves grace, and take time. Oh, it's so
That's so
That's good.
important. That's so good to be
Yeah.
gentle with ourselves.
Yes,
Yeah.
give ourselves grace. And know that we are enough. The fact that we rise
are
every
valued.
day,
Absolutely.
we are enough. That's enough. That's enough.
I did it.
Absolutely.
So anything
Everybody
else
knows.
is extra.
Right.
And
Right.
every day we don't have the same capacity to give. We have to
Right.
gauge what we have to give
Yes.
Right.
and be okay with what we have to give.
Absolutely.
Because once you start trying to give here, give there, you start pulling out things that you don't have, and now you sitting here drained,
Empty.
drained, empty,
Yes.
and needing other things to try to pour back into you to fill you back up. And
Absolutely.
sometimes those outside sources don't fill you up.
Right. I think outside sources depreciate you, right? When we understand our value.
Right.
Go ahead. When we understand our value, we don't wait for, we're not like a car. When we drive out of the house, our value does not depreciate. We're not a house.
For sure.
Our value does not depreciate. If we're in a marriage, our value
Absolutely.
multiplies. Like God created us to
Absolutely.
multiply. I've never seen nowhere in the Bible, Genesis to Revelation, where he subtracts anything from us.
Before we move on to the next author, I do want to ask you all to go ahead and click in the comments and go on Amazon and purchase your ebook for
Come
99 cents
on.
right
Yeah.
now.
Bestseller. We're on a bestseller.
We trying to get there.
I'm sure that it is going to give you everything you need right now today. You don't even have to wait for your book. So let's go ahead and get to the next author.
All right.
I was super inspired by your chapter. One, I do want to say I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because it is not easy.
Yeah.
It is not easy. So I do want to know along your journey with the book, and I don't want to indulge. I don't want to, because they have to. They have to go.
Get the book, people.
But I do want to ask you the same thing. Like, what was that moment? Because when I was reading, you was going back and forth, you was contemplating a little bit on, what you should do. Should you do this? Should you do that? What was that thing inside of you, that voice inside of you that pushed you and said, you know what, no, do this and stop trying to go around it?
Wow. That's
me.
good.
Well, I can say for me, it was, I'm in the season of being intentional. And so everything that I do, everything that I say, I make sure it lines up with where I'm going. And JJ says that, she's had a lineage of this. I don't, but I have children. So I'm wanting them to see what it is to fight to get to the point where you want to go to. And so I'm like you, Dupree. I sit up, and when I'm working at home, when I'm in my 9 to 5, when I'm working business, my children are there. So they get to see what I'm doing. They get to see that I'm on the phone having a call that's not so easy. I'm taking a class so I can learn more about what I'm, getting into.
Yeah.
And I want them to see that no matter what, you just keep going. And this is the generational, this is legacy that I'm building. So I had to be honest with, the process. It wasn't easy,
For sure.
but you gotta keep on, you gotta come on through there with your stilettos on and keep it moving.
She said, like a boss.
Because, we've had times when you get down and you despair and you cry and all that, but you gotta pick yourself up.
That's awesome.
Pick yourself up.
What picked you up when you were, because it was a point where you was a little stuck. And what was that?
It was my faith. It was holding on to God. I asked God, you help me out of this. I want to make sure I'm right.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one.
That was it.
Negotiation.
I'm happy that you did that because, like I told you, I can relate to that. It was me constantly going back and forth. I'm like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do that. What is it that God is calling me to do? And sometimes when you're on that journey of self-discovery, especially as an entrepreneur, we're always on that journey of self-discovery, self-mastery. I got to a point where I'm like, well, I'm just so different. I'm like, I'm different all across the board. I am.
Yeah.
That's just one part that people see. So I'm just like, I don't know if I should do this. And God just kept pushing me like, no, you're the prototype. You're the one. You're meant to be the one that do it first. You're not meant to be
Like everybody.
So when I saw that you had to lean on your faith, I feel like I leaned in on that. So I'm just happy that you shared that. And I'm so happy that all of y'all gave everything. Y'all did. I can tell y'all gave everything. I'm so happy. So again, you guys make sure that y'all go on Amazon.com, get your ebooks, or you can go through your favorite author and get your autographed copy.
We're autographing it. My signature.
Thank you so much to P. Coffee Brown. I'm telling y'all, this is going to leave legacy. This is going to impact many people across the globe. There's so many women out there that need this push, that need to know that it's more of us out here. And if we can do it with everything that we're facing or we're experiencing, they can do it too.
Absolutely.
No
like,
matter where they come from.
Like what you mentioned with the resources, we have so many more resources.
And just piggybacking on what we all talked about, like with my family, it was out of necessity. That they had a traditional job, but the entrepreneurship came out of necessity to make sure the lights stayed on, to make sure the kids had food. We have the opportunity for that legacy to be, because as you stated, it's our purpose. It's what we were designed to do, and we can walk in that purpose and walk in His authority, knowing that all the obstacles that we face and everything that we go through, there's purpose.
It was worth it. It's worth it. It's really worth it. So I'm excited about this book. I want to shout out to P. Koffe. I know everybody knows that, right? I want to shout out to her because we walk together.
Yeah.
And in spaces and places that sometimes we didn't want to talk about, sometimes we couldn't talk about, sometimes it took her just to pray.
Yeah.
I called and I said, hey, you didn't answer this phone. She's like, I didn't get it. And I was so mad for like 3 days. I'm just keeping it 1,000. But because I know her love is real.
Yes, it is.
Right? And I believe what we have created, this world should create.
Yes.
I believe that you were put on this earth
Yes.
to be your sister's helper. We are our brother's keeper. Like, it shouldn't just be the men, because women get catty and we start fighting and then we don't talk forever. Men get upset and they talk the next day. I just don't even understand. So I'm so excited about that. So shout out to her, shout out to the projects that are coming.
Yes.
This is not our last project. I want y'all to understand that this is not our last project. We are excited. And then I want to say something to you, because you are the youngest, right? But I want you to know that the wisdom that's inside of you is
It's not young.
Literally rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? So I want to encourage the young women out there who think that, oh, well, you can do it because you're over 40, or you can do it because you're over 30. Well, if you're under 20, you can do it too. We understand that it's not just about us, it's about all of us collectively together. And this is amazing. And I hope that it gets out. I need the whole world. Listen to me, y'all. You need to get the vibe. This is a vibe.
It is a vibe.
It's a vibe. We're not yelling at each other. We're not screaming at each other. We're not disrespecting each other. We don't care. We're pushing her and her career. We're pushing her and her career. We're pushing one another to become better. So I want to encourage you. You keep doing that, because your daughter, she's gonna be just like you. And so because we are showing, she talked about her grandbaby. I have grandbabies, so some of us, we got like second generations. But and then Koffe Brown, she ain't had my babies yet. But I'm waiting. So like, cut that. I'm not having after marriage. I love somebody. Anywho. So I just want you to know that we love you, and your love shines through graciously.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I love the fact that we're able to give each other our flowers. It's so necessary that we love on each other. We pour into each other. But when a woman knows who she is,
that's all I can think of right there.
You don't have anything else at all. I'm actually really grateful of the ladies that I've met doing this project.
Yes.
The meetings that we've had and the phone calls that we've had have been so encouraging, and the words of the text messages, just getting to know everyone and being able to be in that same spirit and being able to get that same vibe with everyone has been so positive, and I just truly enjoy it. So big ups to all y'all. Yeah, it's a safe space, and I enjoy it. I look forward to seeing y'all.
I don't like women.
You're right. I'm just saying.
I like women now. They're my friends.
before we wrap it up, I have had so much fun. This is definitely a vibe. I want to let you all know this is only volume 1. So it's more to come. If you would love to share your story, please get with Koffe Brown. She will get you together. She will get you together from the prayer. Let me tell you something. She's not going to skip from the prayer.
Right.
We have had one meeting without prayer.
Right.
So definitely, if you want to share your story,
Please.
It doesn't matter what it is. If you want to share, you want to publish your first book, get with her. She will get you together. I'm so grateful and thankful for the we have created. I do want to make sure that y'all share your social platforms.
Facebook, Janitrika Jackson Woods, Instagram, JJ Woods 23.
All right then. Okay, I got so many hashtags. So listen, I'm just gonna give y'all 3. Tanisha J. Roberts, Facebook, Table Talk with Lady Rob, my talk show. I have my own. Y'all come check me out, like me, do all that good stuff. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all of that is Lady Rob, LadyRob, because that's who I am.
All right then.
Okay, I'm Christy Thibodeau on Facebook, and I'm Chris Joe Tibb on Instagram.
We love it.
Nice. And I'm Dr. Shamika Harris on Facebook and Instagram. Period. Find me.
That's how we like it. I am your favorite natural goddess. You can find me on Instagram at Naturally Dupria and on Facebook at Dupria Williams. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We are signing out.
We
Love you.